Hello lovely, and welcome to my video diary, and let's give you a roundup of what's been going on here throughout July. A couple of little bits I've done for Bramble Cottage is I've made a trunk. It is a rustic trunk, deliberately stained and then roughly painted to match the chest of drawers that's roughly painted. And I've made little leather hinges there, and I've lined it with wallpaper. And also I made some little letters. So I made the envelopes. I wrote a little letter inside. It does have real words and everything in, and I folded them up and tied them with blue ribbon, because that's what you do with love letters, isn't it? You tie them with blue ribbon. I got this bare wood tea trolley from one of my online suppliers. Love the little casters, and I put a bit of brown detail up the top and little tiny gold trim on it. I did paint it because there are so many little joints and gaps that I'd had to fill with wood filler and stuff. I thought it might not come out very good stained, so painted that one. And this is a little white table which I've painted, put some gold trim on it. So this is going to be for the sewing room of Ashton Place. And a word of warning. So this is acetate. It was going to be the glass top. I'm going to have to cut another bit. The word of warning is don't shake your Posca pen without the lid on, because it goes splosh, splosh, splosh all over everything. So I've got to redo that. Never mind. It wasn't quite a perfect circle, but it was near enough. But I'm going to have to redo that. I would really love to grow my YouTube channel, so if you would subscribe, that would be absolutely marvellous. A comment here and there all helps with the algorithm, as well as likes, obviously. If you hit the little bell, you will then get notification when I've got a new video posted, and I am trying to schedule in regular postings of videos of different sorts. Thank you so much, I do appreciate it. My main focus for this July has been to complete uncompleted jobs. So things that have been started that I haven't got around to finishing. I wanted to get them finished so that I'm sort of up to date with things. There is another video to go with these projects in this picture. But basically it was to sew a cushion for Paul's chair for his study, to dress the mannequin, and that includes a leather waistcoat, to do the chest of drawers for Bramble Cottage. So that's a bare wood chest of drawers, and I wanted it to be very rustic and roughly painted, and I even wanted a drawer knob missing, so that's been clumsily replaced, the way it might be in an old cottage. I finished a crocheted bedspread, that's in my Etsy shop available. I made the cutting pattern for the waistcoat, so that's made out of airmail paper, because that's really fine and lovely. So that will be hanging in my sewing room. You'll be able to see it in there. I made a leather bound book with some of the leather that I've got, and I finished 2 crocheted cushions that I'd made, that I started. So those are in my bedroom in Ashton Place. I'm not selling those, but I will be making more to sell in the future. This gorgeous little cushion I started a while ago, and I used embroidery thread, or floss as some people call it. So this is like got 5 or 6 strands. What I had to do was unravel the whole of the skein of embroidery thread to take off individual strands, which I have to say is quite laborious in itself. This is pure cotton, and I used 4 different shades to get the cushion. So there's 4 going one way and then it goes out, so it's like sort of a double selection of colours. But anyway, I'm loving this. This isn't going to be sold. I'm going to be keeping this in one of my projects. I won't be making any more this way. Far too labour intensive and very frustrating when it all gets tangled, but great fun. And I love the colours. This cushion is a bit bigger again, and this is made with cotton, 100% cotton, Gutermann thread, and it goes beautifully with these other two, which I'd made with Gutermann cotton thread, which actually, so I finished these off. I started these, I think I put these in the other video. Yes, these match the bedspread. Let me take you to the bed. It's a little bit of disarray in here at the moment, but they match the bedspread there. This little cushion is a little bit more diddy, and I have used Gutermann pure cotton sewing thread for this. I like the strength. This cotton is much stronger than the single strands of embroidery thread. It's not, it's smoother, and it doesn't tend to knot easily if you're dealing with a long thread. I like this. I will probably continue with these threads. May not be in granny squares. I'm looking for new patterns. You may or may not have seen on my channel I've got a new playlist, and it's my Doll's House Miniatures A to Z. So every week I am releasing a new video connected to a letter of the alphabet, all to do with developing your miniature hobby, whether or not you're a complete beginner or you just got a bit stuck and you need a bit of a kickstart, or you're moving up to a bigger size project or whatever. I don't know. There may be something in it for you. Hopefully there is something for everybody. So it's a letter of the alphabet on a different topic each week, and obviously for some letters there may be 2 or 3 videos if we've got 2 or 3 different things to talk about under that letter. But anyway, that's my Doll's House Miniatures A to Z playlist, and you can enjoy that video every week. Hit the little button when you subscribe and you'll get notification that the new video has been released. And I've also been making and gathering bits to go here and there, and I have that already. I got these bottles, which I think I've shown you in a video. They're a little bit too big proportion-wise. They're more for a chemist shop rather than, you know, a domestic setting. I love the shape of the hair oil one. I've had to sand it down a little bit to get it to stand up. Might have to glue that in place. That's going to go in the bedroom of Ashton Place. I made a little tiny weeny ball of string to go on one of the shelves. Got some other little bits and pieces that came intact. Can't remember where I bought it from. And I think I showed making that. If you ever used Izal toilet paper, it's an experience never to be forgotten. And these came, did this come? Yeah, no, I think that came solid. I've got a couple of other bits and pieces which are in Ashton Place that came, if you like, flat packed, that I made up, little packages. And lastly, I made these divine little books from a printable that came from somebody called Maria from her website. So you can print them out, cut them up, make them up with her tutorial instructions. And I've included a video of my process doing them. Absolutely gorgeous books. Love them. They're going to be all over my houses. And do put in the comments, I'd love to know what were your favourite things that I've made in July, and what are you going to try in August to make for yourself, for your houses. Talk to you soon.